All right, here we are. Real world of tanks with Threesixteen. In this game, we're going to do a little bit of clan wars with my new clan, the Predators, I think we're called. Predator Tankers. I'm not sure who came up with the word, with the name. It's a pretty great group. It's new. We sort of emerged out of another clan called the Phoenix Rises, so there may be some replays from that group. But anyway, I've been made a combat officer, which is a real promotion for me in World of Tanks. Look at that. Look at that driving. Oh, missed a shot there. Way to go. See, okay. If you follow this channel and if you watch any of my replays, you know I'm the Tomatoes champion. Except in this case, look how genius I am. I wonder if you can I auto aim through that crack? Come on, think about it. The thought will occur to me in 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Anyway, so the point is that on the other team, you might have seen in the opening panel, there's Anvar and Pharaoh Mero, I think his name is. I know him by Savage. He's got a couple accounts, maybe. Anyway, or he's got a TeamSpeak name, whatever. So, Pharaoh's in the ISU 152, and Anvar is in the Tiger P. Now, Pharaoh's not in my clan, or our clan, but we do know him because I guess the guys that formed the clan knew him before I joined. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is that they've seen me, and I haven't seen them. Did you see me miss that shot? I was lined up waiting for that guy, and he just was a little bit higher, passed a little bit deeper in the... And there you go. Okay, so while I feel like a genius here working this position, see how I check behind me to make sure I'm clear? But what I don't realize is these guys are... Pharaoh has decided his life's mission is to take me out. And in a couple of seconds, on the minimap, you're going to see behind me, there he is. I don't even notice. Blissfully unaware. Those guys were laughing their asses off. After the game was over, I got a couple messages from them, whatever. But anyway, the point is this new clan is pretty good. The calling is split between a couple of us. Anvar, who's in this game now, myself, our leader Ludicrous Prime, I think his name is. I'm just getting to know everyone. I really like this team. So we started an evening of clan wars. This was our first game. Anvar was calling. Good call. Send the light tanks up the side to scout and see if they're pushing that way, and instead camp at the base for the rest of us. And here we go. These guys, these guys come roaring through the middle. Now I miss one shot. Well, I track them, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna miss another shot here. They're pushing right in on our Cromwells. This was a bad target selection. Should have taken the guy behind him. So all those free shots I had, I guess there were 3 of them coming across the middle. I only got 1 at 3, so shit. Here I'm trying to call. I remember focusing targets. They're just like bull rushing us. Nobody seems to know I'm here. Nobody's worried about me. I've got a really good position, actually. To be honest, no real tactical awareness of mine. I just sort of like looked over here and thought, oh, okay, I'll stay here. And luckily, they mostly, for the most part, all drove right in front of my gun the whole game. It's like about as great a thing as you can ask for in a Tiger 131, which is slow. But you know what? Funnily enough, I find it really enjoyable to play. At least in Clan Wars, I really like it. So this was our first game. I'm a bit of the newer guy on the block, but like I said, they have this, you know, I just talk so much, so they wound up, you know, listening to me. Nobody wants to call, let's be honest, right? Like, well, some people do, but like at the level that we're at, which is, you know, most of the guys are around 3,000 or lower PR. I'm a little higher, but honestly, not because of any great disparity in talent or anything. Nonetheless, that gives you an idea. We're casual guys that, you know, like to play the game, and we work well together. And here I managed to somehow pull off that one-on-one engagement. Managed to make my gun work the whole time. Got about 2,000 damage, I think it looks like. Now I'm sort of saying, like, let's get these lights popping and take out this Hellcat. I'm always nervous when there's a Hellcat on the field. I don't know, kind of like the T-67. I just hate their view range advantage that they have. Like if those light tanks happen to go down, although, you know, they're not one-shots quite, almost there. Now, what hit me there? I don't understand that. Anyway, so I win the game. Yay! And that was our first game of the night, and we were all feeling real good. I was feeling real good. I had my mojo going. And then things didn't turn out so well. But before we get into all that, here's where are we now? This is the Phoenix Rises. This is the clan, ironically enough, out of which arose the new one, Predator tankers. For some reason, just as a sidebar, in case anyone from the clan is listening, our clan symbol is a shark, which I understand is a scary beast, and Lord knows I wouldn't want to encounter one in its element, which, ironically enough, is water, and not the land. So I'm not really sure about that as a thing that would strike terror in anyone's heart. Here's an example of me playing awful. The call's not so bad. We send the guys all the way around to rush the thing. We're going to hold the heavy tanks back just in case they decide to counter push us. I'm not shooting here. I don't know why. What I could do is just get behind a bush and put a bush, you know what I'm saying, opaque bush between me and that guy, and I could have probably taken free shots. Instead, I don't know what I was doing. Now I see this Type 64 over here, and you know what? By all rights, I should have this guy murdered. And you'll see here just how crummy a player I am. Why did I miss that shot? What was I doing here? Terrible angles. Can't reaction time. So, and I get spotted. Like, then I come over the top. Still can't get anything. Still can't get anything. Still can't get anything. Meanwhile, our guys at the top are, like, fully engaged. The heavies are kind of, like, wasting their time, more or less. How many seconds was that since I first spotted them? And I drive into a rock. So, this is why it's sort of ridiculous, for me to ever... Nonetheless, we all try to improve. So, I get into this one-on-one, then I come out from behind the rock and open myself up to the T-3485M, which I think I could have been shooting in the first place. I'm blissfully unaware of what's going on. I'm angrier and angrier right now. I've been ammo-racked. Like, we're both one-shots and I lose. Largely, I mean, there's no excuse for that. That was just horrible play. Meanwhile, back with the game, of course, I don't bother to switch out of my point of view because I'm furious. And now I've sped it up out of impatience. But here's what we're looking at. We're looking at Grumpy, my buddy Grumpy. We're about to lose the battle with the heavies, but we can win this one-on-one. I'm begging these guys to do it, but what is with his gun? It's pointed backwards. Nothing is damaged. No modules are damaged on him. The guy's desperately trying. We're all yelling at him, Grumpy, 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 you can win this! What was going on there? Still a mystery. No one could figure that out. Okay, there's another game. So here we are, back with the Phoenix Arises. We're on, I don't know what this map is. What map is this? Is this Himmelsdorf? Maybe this is Himmelsdorf. Whatever. I think I'm calling and telling guys kind of where I want them placed. I forget my call at this point. I remember I have to ask someone what my call is, and then I almost cut this guy off. My buddy Grumpy again. Anyway, yeah, so, but this is good. Our VK player is fun. Everybody's following the call. I think I'm going to sort of have them hang back on our side of the map and see if I can get some lights for everyone. Now, again, I'd like to point out some of this is what you would call, well, I wouldn't call this textbook light tank play, or unorthodox, so it might be a nice description. But I am trying to call and play at the same time, which is hard when you're not good at either. So here's a dicey move. Meanwhile, the guys are all being patient. Everything's working out the way, it's good. We see them pushing down. I kind of knew that was going to happen. You see the T-3485M, so there's hanging back on that corner. I make another idiotic move here. I reveal myself. I'm calling for the VK to come over the hill and to hook up, like, on the K line with me. Get spotted. Duh. Like, what was I thinking? Anyway, now the battle is, we're engaged, I think. So the thing is that it's a pretty fair lineup up top. They're going to try to go around that train station in the BA-12 corner. What I'm trying to say to the guys is fall back into the heavy tank guns. Like, anyway. And at the same time, me and my buddy in the VK, whose name, for some reason, I can't remember, but I know him. we grew up and we're going to take on these T-3485Ms. That's my plan here. This is the call. 1-1. Try not to get on cap to keep our element of surprise. That's why instead of turning left, I go straight up the street. I check to see he's with me. He is. I'm going to take this little side route. And here's again where you'll see some stellar tomato gameplay. Can't get my auto lock on. I get tracked, don't take damage, which is good. I do 4 damage because why? Oh, that was a ramming thing. Luckily, I light him on fire. Try to get out of the way of my buddy's gun. Try to kind of... At this point, I realize we're going to win the engagement. And I finally look up the scoreboard. No, not quite yet. I'm still panicked. So we've totally dominated. We're winning. The two of us should have gone up to just kind of help them up and pick up some damages. Instead, I instruct my buddy and I to cap. And then I realize as I do this that it's a stupid move, that we could have just pushed up. But then part of me wanted to see, like, are guys going to listen? So I sort of said, just stay here and let those guys have their fun. Like, let them figure out how to take these tanks on, get some kills for themselves. Just to sort of establish, like even if the call seems wonky to you, stick with the call, because the caller's got something in mind, generally speaking. At this level, anyway, this is kind of what we're dealing with. So it worked out well. We got a nice win. Now we're on, what is this, Sand River? Is this Sand River? Yeah, I think so. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, steps. I was right. So here we are. Again, a Phoenix Arises game. We've got a couple of buddies from other places with us. Including, I think, the reason I'm stalling here is because the playback monitor I'm watching on is like a low res, so the names, I can't read the names. It's like trying to read without my glasses on. Anyway, in this match, I'll demonstrate again some fantastic tomato light tank play. Meanwhile, I'm going to do the call that I always like to do, which is just, I like the 9-0 line on this map in this setup, like a tier 6 battle. Oh, and yeah, by the way, we play tier 6. And it's fun for us. I think the idea eventually is to try to get guys into tier 8 tanks. But that'll come in time. We're not, you know, right now it's just like we got to get things going. I think the only thing I would say about this group of guys is that we sure like to play late into the night. I mean, this is like an 11:30 p.m. to 3 a.m. kind of group. And luckily for me, I'm in between careers at the moment, so I can afford it. Now watch this fucking superior light tank play here. Getting all the lights, shooting into space. I finally realized, like, hey man, like, maybe don't drive out there. Now, here's a problem. What I want, the guys are where I want them to be. The situation is what I wanted it to be. I feel like we can beat these guys, but I'm doing a terrible job of staying alive here. And what I realize is they're going to push us in a second, and I really need these guys to start being aggressive, but they're not all together. Now, you can't see this really because I'm not focusing on anything, but about now is where I start looking around to see, like, what's going on with everyone? Why are we down 2-0? I got 2 Cromwells, light medium tanks up sort of above the berm. The rest of our guys are below. You can see their tank is now pushing forward. We gotta stop them from getting this bowl position on us. And to our credit, to get a couple shots in there. But I'm begging these guys, like, rush, rush, rush. And here we go. I think right now this guy's isolated. I want him dead. I want this Cromwell that we're looking at here to come over the top right now and get down into the bowl. But he's hesitating, he's hesitating, he's hesitating. Anyway, so there's a lot of kind of stalled... Now, I don't know what they're seeing. They're trying to flank us now, the enemy team. Finally, we get that Cromwell that rushes down. Now, he needs a buddy down there. The T-150 is going to come pushing up. Here comes the light tank. I think I'm warning him now. Behind you, light tank. And to his credit, he's aware. Gets his shots in. The T-150 is going to push. I'm begging our heavies to push up now. Begging them. But, you know, the thing that's making this all kind of mood is that they're even worse than we are. So sometimes, you know, you can't count on it, but they'll make more mistakes than we'll make. So more or less, we're just cleaning up now. Grubby, unfortunately, takes an ammo rack there. Still anybody's game. But the thing that's weird, oh yeah, that's right, the VK's on cap, so he's putting pressure on. Somebody on their team has to go back. That gives us an overmatch, although just threw away 600 health there. But I'm not really worried at this point because I got my heavy coming in, and even if that medium goes down, we're fine. The Cromwell. And so at this point, it's just a matter of cleaning up. Don't anyone die. I think we sent the VK off cap. Again, it was his call. He knew what he was up to over there. But it's mostly just a feel-good moment here for the team. You know, get that last kill in. It's always better to. It always feels a little better to get the kills than to get the cap, I think. Unless it's one of those sneaky fast caps that you get away with. Those feel pretty good. All right, Prokhorovka, one of my favorite. Now, again, TPR, or is this Predators? I didn't know this. Anyway. So in this match, what I want us to do is play the 1-2 line really mobile. I want us to group up around B1, B2, and then push hard. I'm going to get the lights on everyone, and I expect the rest of the team to just keep moving forward. And then we're going to swarm into the bowl where I think they're going to be in the F, sort of the EF, well, the F2 bowl kind of thing. So here I go to take a quick spot. I don't really do a lot. I think I'll do a bush idea, but I knock a bush down, so that doesn't really work out well. And I get lit. So I got a bailout. I think I give away a chunk of health here. No, guy misses me, thank goodness. And yep, they're right where I thought they were going to be. This is one of the things where I played with played with some really good clans and some great callers. And you know what they do when they're just playing these clan wars for fun is like, all right, everyone just do what you want, and everyone kind of knows. Oh, I could go play this middle. The bowl is safe as long as you don't get too aggressive. So here I am with tons of shots, having a great time, trying not to tunnel vision, and yet tunnel visioning. Should have been focusing down that light tank instead of like, well, whatever. There's a bad shot that didn't seem to do anything. Critical hit. I take a hit. At this point, I should be much more careful. I should probably pull down and regroup. I'm kind of wondering, like, where the hell are my guys? Like, why aren't they pouring over? And you see, they're kind of going over one at a time here. And we're getting eaten up. I miss a bad shot. It's always terrible when you're like a half a second late on a kill shot, and then I lose it. I see the F-150s looking, or the T-150s looking right at me, and I still don't move. So this was a winnable game for us. You'll see it's kind of hilarious, actually. Nerve-wracking. We have an overmatch, which is the thing. We haven't identified where a few of their tanks are yet, and that'll come back to haunt us. Now, as the caller, what should I do here? Right. I should have sent the light tank back to our base, like A1, A2. I should have sent the rest of the guys to immediately cap. But as soon as we got picked off there and I had all these guys bumbling around the bowl, I don't know what happened to me. I kind of like, I didn't know what to do. And so what you'll see here is a comedy of errors. We're going to get capped out. Everyone's milling around in the middle. I don't make a definitive call for anyone. There you go. Well, that was Clan Wars #1. Thanks for joining me.